Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
Now, what shall we talk about?
Hello, my friends, and welcome to another video. This is Brian, the Speaker for the Dead, and I'm coming to you today to make a follow-up video to my Dune video. Now, I want to start off this video by thanking everybody for going and viewing this video, for commenting, for just being here. I really appreciate it. I do. I don't think that gets said enough by YouTubers who are doing this. I am going to do better on trying to get more content put out and stuff, where my business has been slow for a little while, so it gives me an opportunity to actually come and do this, which I'm grateful for. But I wanted to start off and talk about what we're going to discuss today in this video. We're going to discuss wrapping things in pretty pictures so that people buy in, or in other words, the misuse of Hollywood of intellectual properties. Now, a lot of people have covered this, but I want to cover this specifically in regards to what we saw in relation to Dune, with the Denis Villeneuve's Dune adaptation. You see, here's my issue. These people take other people's work and use that and bastardize those things to put out their own messages, to get across their own ideas. And then they act as though they are these great people, these great creators, these great cinematographers and stuff. And you know what? Maybe they are. Maybe they are a great cinematographer. But they're also a horribly blatant liar.
I super hate you.
They misuse and misinterpret somebody else's work to buoy up their own ego. It's one of the biggest problems we see from Hollywood right now, is the absolute narcissism and nuttery that is the misuse of IPs. We've all seen it. We've all seen it in Doctor Who, the Alien franchise, I mean, all of them, Star Trek, Star Wars, all of them. All of these IPs, all of these book series and that have been converted into film in the last few years, they've all been misused and mishandled by Hollywood. There is so few true adaptations that it makes me ill. Now, I got a lot of comments in this last video, and I have to thank you guys, because it is rare for me to have a video go over 1,000 views. I only have about 200 and some odd subscribers on my channel, for which I am very grateful for every single person who subscribes. It means a lot that you take time out of your lives to come and listen to what some chubby, not pretty truck driver, which is what I was told I was in one of the comments. He's not pretty, but I guess I'll subscribe. It just made me laugh. Thanks. I'm not pretty. The truth oftentimes isn't pretty. So I'm kind of putting myself in the, I guess I'm coming as truth, the unpretty truth. Thanks for that comment, by the way. Made me laugh.
Are you sure?
Does this look unsure to you?
No.
Good. Now go spread the word.
But, I mean, honestly, these people misuse and abuse other people's works like it's nothing. Now, Del Did that very thing with Dune. It's one of the biggest problems I had with the film. He leaves out massive amounts of the story, leaves out much of the character work that needed to be done, the follow-up to what happened in the first film. Where's Thufir Howard? What happened to him? He's a major character in the second half of the book. Gone. Completely gone. Not to mention the fact that the Spacing Guild, one of the most powerful, most important groups in the Dune universe, completely left out of the second film. Honestly, if you went and saw the film and didn't know anything about, you would think that the Spacing Guild isn't even a thing. One of the comments that I had on my last video talked about that very thing. The fact that they left out these massive players, massive chunks of the story, which they managed to do. As you can see behind me, I have the 84 Dune playing. They managed to do that in a 2-hour, I think it was 135-minute film in 1984. They managed to squeeze in more of the lore, more of the direct dialogue, more of everything into 135 minutes than Bell Biv DeViv managed to do in 5 hours. 5 hours he spent on that film. And we lost massive amounts of the story that they managed to squeeze into 135 minutes in the 84 film. Now, did they give us a fully flushed out explanation of all of those groups in the 84 film? No, they didn't. They didn't have the time. But they gave you enough of it that they planted the seeds. They stayed true to the dialogue, true to the books, true to the work as much as they could. They did alter stuff. They absolutely did. They massively altered the Weirding way in the 84 film. But it was okay because I didn't feel like that was a distraction. I felt like that they really kind of tried to bring that into more of a visual medium, which I understand in films. Now, Denis Villeneuve did the same thing in his film, but he cut out huge chunks of the story. They don't mention the Chone Company at all, which is another major player, one of the major things that keeps the Houses of the Landsraad together. It's the same problem that we see. A lot of people were pissy about Phantom Menace having all the politics of Star Wars in it. I actually liked that. I liked to get to see the Senate, the minutia, the problems that actually led to the rise of the Empire. That the Old Republic really was starting to fall apart and it wasn't working the way it was intended to. You have to have the politics. You have to have the backstory. Because if you read the books, you understand what makes the Bene Gesserits powerful is politics. It's one of the few remaining schools of thought that happened after the Balerian Jihad, the defeat of the machines, that or the thinking computers. It's one of the few schools that survived. The Space Guild and the Bene Gesserits are two of the only schools that survive from the Balerian Jihad, or from that time period.
Fine.
And that's why they are so powerful. Where the Spacing Guild and the others are more interested in the minutiae of stuff, the Bene Gesserits are all about politics. They are all about the bloodlines and trying to perfect the human race through genetics. They're geneticists, they're eugenicists, pardon me. It is just a sad thing. We saw the same thing, and I know I'll be one of the few here that can speak to this and actually care about it. The Twilight series. The films were a tragedy. The films were a crap shit show interpretation of those books. I loved the Twilight books. Now, I know I'll be in the minority of men that actually like those books, but it's fine. I just love vampire stories. It's one of my favorite things. I love vampire stories. And anything to do with that has even moderately good take on vampirism, I'm there. And they did a good job. The books were very good. Now, the one thing I can say about that series is the second film, which is called New Moon. The director of that film, I remember watching a commentary from him on when he was creating that film. And his whole story, his whole idea was to make that movie as close to the books. Because, as he says, this isn't my work. This is somebody else's work. I'm just here to bring it to the screen. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine what kind of films we would get if we had directors like that? If I had $1 billion and could go buy the Star Trek franchise, that man would get asked to direct every single film that I ever put out. Because he gets it. He understands that his ego is not what matters. Following the story, following the patterns that have been set up by the actual creators of these IPs is what is important. And this is one of the reasons that this frustrated me and made me so mad about Dune, was they wrapped up a shit show in the cloak of Dune. And they're doing this more and more and more. Then people just accept it. They're like, it doesn't matter. I had somebody comment on my last video, if you want to have a book, go read a book. Movies aren't ever good adaptations.
What a bunch of hippy-dippy baloney.
Yeah. And you know why? It's because people think stupid crap like that. People just accept their IPs, their beloved reading material, great literature being condensed down into this shit show of a message that was never intended by the actual creator of the work. And it's about time we stopped accepting that. We stopped giving cover to directors and actors and studios that treat us like we don't have the right to get to view what we actually thought we were going to see. They alter the story. They wrap it up in a pretty package that looks like Star Trek, but it's not Star Trek. They wrap it up in a package to make it look like it's Star Wars, but it's not Star Wars. And then they get mad at you because you just don't understand. We're trying to make movies for a modern. We're just trying to make good films. We're just packed full of political myths. Because we love storytelling. It's just lies. It's half truths. It's absolutely a corruption and perversion of everything that the creators that they're ripping off actually wanted to do.
Pow, wham, kazap. First try.
That's the problem I have with it. I don't necessarily have a problem with fan fiction, which is really what this Dune picture was. It wasn't actually the Dune story, and we all know that. Anybody who's read the books understands. That wasn't Dune. It was Dune alternate universe 134.
I hate this place.
Or whatever. But you know what? I don't like it when people make... You know what? There isn't a multiverse out there. There's Dune. And if you can't make Dune, just don't. Just don't. If you can't make Star Trek, just don't. If you can't make Doctor Who, don't. Now, honestly, I could give a crap less about Doctor Who. I don't care about it. I never watched the show. I wasn't ever interested in it and stuff. But I understand. But I would never go to a real fan of Doctor Who and go, shut up, you don't know. Just accept it. You know, this is just a different version. And and crap on somebody who feels the way I feel. Because you know what? We all have that thing. All these people who come on my videos and crap on me for being like, you grow up. I had somebody tell me that, oh, this is funny, grow up, you're pathetic. And I'm like, you know what? Blow me. Blow me. I don't care what you think. How about if I take whatever you love, say it's basketball, and I go in there and pervert and distort and destroy and change the rules and kick players out that you like and misrepresent everything that basketball was intended to be? What would happen? Oh, I'd be pissed as hell. How dare you do that to something I love? Right. Well, now you know how I feel about Dune and Star Trek and all of these things that I actually love and that have been a big part of my life. And that's the problem, is that people never care about it till it's happening to what you love. And anybody who's been paying attention to sports knows that's already happening to our sports. That's why at the beginning of the Super Bowl this year, we got 2 national anthems for the price of one. Yeah, a black one and a white one. I mean, no, a black one and then one for everybody else. All it does is divide people. All it does is cause contention and hatred. There is no black national anthem, for hell's sakes. Just like there's no Hispanic national anthem. There's one, the national anthem. And that's the problem, is that these people who do this kind of stuff, they get in there and they pollute, they distort, they twist, and they destroy everything that they touch. And it's sad.
What was that?
Oh, it was nothing, sir.
Your behavior is most suspicious.
For those of you, I hope you watch this entire video so that you can understand where I'm coming from and where many of us are coming from that don't accept these perversions of the works that we love. Because it's not right and it's not fair to those people who made those things, who did something great. And they didn't mean for it to get perverted. Frank Herbert, when he wrote his books for a very specific reason. He wanted to get certain points across. He wanted people to understand about the point of view of the world where he was coming from, not for to come in and change that. That's not his place. That's not his right. I don't care whether he paid $1 billion for the rights to the book. If you're going to do that, then make the damn book. Okay? Don't come in here and tell me, hey, you want a book? Just get a book. Yeah, I did. And then you said you made a movie about it, and I went to see it, and it was a crap show. Well, no adaptations are perfect. Well, not when we don't expect them to be. And that's my point of this video. Expect more. Expect more. And you'll get more. Give them cover, pretend like what they're doing's okay, and all we'll get is trash, crap adaptations of something that looks like something we loved, but isn't. Anyway, thanks for watching today. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, share, subscribe, and we will talk to you next time around. Bye now.